The head coach of the visiting team, the Thomas Jefferson Spartans, is Derek Martin, assisted by Sean Crump, Mitchell Johnson, Bill Burns, Stephen Rupenhaper, and Woody Bonner. The head coach of the Mustangs is Ty Davies, assisted by Josh Langford, Greg Edson, Jim Kreckemeyer, Ian Moreno, Andy Schoen, TJ Schneider, Seth Wolf, Chris Cobley, Jeff Peterson, Eric Sherman, Kyle Growlus, Drew Davies, and Gary Davies. Now the Mustangs are in their home blacks. And that's a good thing for us, Brian, because when Thomas Jefferson is on the road, they're wearing their, at home I should say, they're wearing their brown uniforms very similar to Wyoming. So you really can't tell right now. It's an all-white uniform with that brown outline.
It makes it a lot easier to read the numbers, that's for darn sure.
Yeah. Did we go through that issue last year at all?
Oh, gosh, it seemed like we had one game or two that...
I thought it was every game except maybe the last two. Yeah, it seemed to be every game. All right, team captains are out on the middle of the field. And again, this will be a matter, Brian, of which team may be able to pass the ball better. In fact, let's get briefly here to your nickel package that we already featured on Facebook Live, the 5 keys to the Mustangs winning this game tonight.
Okay, first off, they got to contain the offense, especially their running back, Davian Hunter. Big yards this year so far in just 2 games, so they'll have to keep a close eye on him. They got to pressure that quarterback, make him make some mistakes back there in the pocket. He doesn't run very well, so hopefully they can put some pressure on him, keep him, get some mistakes. Third, the Mustang offensive line needs to keep the pressure off of Isaac Linker. He needs time to set up some of those deeper passes. The fourth one is the punting game. I think it'll come into, hopefully it doesn't have to come into play tonight, but if Mustangs have problems moving the ball, Frankie Ortega did a great job last week. Hopefully he can do it this week and pin Thomas Jefferson deep in their own end zone, or in their own end of the field. And fifth, personal fouls. And we can also put that in there with turnovers. They had a personal foul last week. So far, the first 2 games, the competition hasn't been up to what it's going to be up tonight. The competition's been getting stiffer every week, and this will be an excellent test for the Mustangs tonight. You make any mistakes, and they could capitalize, and TJ could come away with the win.
Kevin Rohde is with us on the field. We'll check in with him a little bit later on. And, of course, at halftime, the Mustangs have won the opening toss, but they have elected to play defense. Opening kickoff tonight brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. Things happen in life, don't they, Brian?
They do.
Make sure you're prepared with the right insurance coverage. Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance in Brush and Fort Morgan. All right, we have one prediction for this game. It ain't going 3 hours and 11 minutes like we had last week. Well, because these are not offenses going to throw the ball
63 times.
Even 30 times. I think if one team throws the ball up to 25 or 30 times, they lose this game.
Well, I was noticing if Max Preps has their stats right, I was looking at the Thomas Jefferson Silver Creek game. Thomas Jefferson ran 38 plays.
Right? That's not a lot.
Yeah, that's not a lot. And that's all the plays. That's just not passing and running. Or, it's not just passing. That's everything. So.
Yeah, I think Lutheran did that in about a quarter and a half last week. All right, to kick it off, looks like he's back with perhaps the number that we thought he'd have at the beginning of the season, Jose Jimenez. Well, if this is decided by a field goal, we know that Jimenez has got a good, strong, accurate leg as well. He was not available to the team last week, but Adam Cardona did a nice job. And they even got Jacob Ortega to kick off once. And as you mentioned with the punt game, Frankie Ortega, very solid. Ethan Rollins, that's the number 2 back. Back to receive. I don't know if that's Hunter flanked over there at the 10-yard line. That might be another Thomas Jefferson Spartan.
Yeah, I can't see what his number is for sure.
On a nice warm night so far here in Fort Morgan. The low is only about 68, 69 degrees. Jimenez about 5 yards behind the ball, which is not much, but he's got a strong leg. And he boots that baby high and a little bit short towards the 20-yard line. The ball is fumbled. It's dropped. It's still loose. And now it is recovered by the Mustangs at the 33-yard line. It was misfielded on the short kickoff. And it's recovered by Fort Morgan. And let's see who recovered that football. That's Frankie Ortega.
Yeah.
Man, this guy does everything.
Yeah. I think they had picked it up once Thomas Jefferson had dropped it, they'd picked it up again, and then it was fumbled again, and then fallen on by the Mustangs.
Quinton Baldry getting up very slowly there for Thomas Jefferson. So the Mustangs, with the first break of the night, have the football 1st and 10 right off the opening kickoff. So it's almost like they received the opening kickoff.
Yep.
1st and 10 at the Thomas Jefferson 33. The quarterback is Isaac Linker. Second leading rusher on this team. J.P. Hamer is the lone setback out of the pistol from the 33. And there is the give to Hamer running right. He's got a seam to the 30 along the sideline, and he's knocked out of bounds at about the 28, maybe the 27. Combined tackle there by James Abia Jr. at 5'11", 170. And Craig Thurman is at 6 foot and 170 pounds. Will give him a gain of close to 6. 2nd down and 4 to go for the Mustangs. That puts Hamer over 300 yards for the season. He was at 299 going in. 2nd down and 4 for the Mustangs at the 27. Again, they don't huddle. Ardona's the receiver to the right, 2 receivers out to the left, same formation. Linker awaits the snap, and Linker, and there's a flag down, no play. Threw it out in the left flat to Ortega, but there might have been movement along the offensive line. It's a false start. So now the Mustangs will be backed up to about the 32, 2nd down and 9 to go. But immediately, run and then a pass. I don't know if they'll stick with that play right now. 2nd down and 9, just shy of the 32-yard line. Again, 2 receivers out to the left, Connor Fajardo and Ortega out to the left. Awaiting the snap out of the pistol is Isaac Linker on 2nd and 9. He bobbles the ball, hands it off to Hamer, a seam up the middle, up the right sideline to the 15, down to the 10. He stumbled and then he dropped the ball, but he was already down. It wasn't the smoothest play, but Hamer picks up 22 yards and a 1st and 10 for Fort Morgan.
Yeah, they got Thomas Jefferson's really closing in on the inside. That outside has been open on those first 2 running plays.
Well, they might as well just keep giving it to Hamer. They've had some big holes here. And do we have an equipment timeout? We do. Ortega has to come off the field. And he'll be replaced by Donovan Moya. I'm not sure if that's 1st and goal at the 10 because the nose of the football.
They're putting the sticks down on the other side.
Yeah, they just did. 1st and goal. The nose of the football is just over the 10-yard line. Again, the skill position players looking over towards the sideline for play instructions. Now Linker and the Mustangs up to the line of scrimmage. On 1st and goal from the 10. Linker is going to hand it off on the right side, and J.P. Hamer is going to get back maybe to the 11. That's it. He's not going to get to the line of scrimmage. And he is hammered over there by a bevy of Spartans, including Jonathan Castro, a junior, and Samuel Cole, 6'2", 205-pound junior. That'll be a loss of a couple.
Maybe they run that swing play like they did last week for that.
It's at the 12.
Touchdown.
Yeah. Well, it was a slow developing play there. Didn't have the blocking either. 2 receivers out to the left, 2 to the right. Make it 1 to the right. On 2nd down and goal, just inside the Thomas Jefferson 12. Man in motion to the left. Linker is going to spin to his left. Pressure coming. Now he's going to throw on the run, and the pass is intercepted in the end zone. Along the right sideline to the 15-yard line, now to the 20. Still on his feet and knocked out of bounds at around the 25-yard line. Ill-advised pass. And it was picked off. I don't know if that was Rollins or who picked it off for the Thomas Jefferson Spartans, but he threw that going the other way, and there was no chance there for Linker to complete that pass.
Yeah, he was being pressured and should have just ate the ball and went down with it.
Yeah, we don't have spotters up here, so tough to tell those white uniforms who intercepted the pass, but now both teams have committed a turnover, and we have not even played 2 minutes. Under center is Trenton Kozer, 1st and 10 for Thomas Jefferson at their own 25. There's the handoff on the counter. That looks like Hunter. He spins back towards the middle, and that's Ethan Rollins instead. He is swallowed up, and that's a big hit over there by Alex Ortega, who leads the team in tackles. It'll be a gain of 1, 2nd down and 9 off the 1-yard gain by the junior Ethan Rollins.
Yeah, big hit up the middle there. Yeah, Ethan Rollins 107 yards on 19 carries so far this year.
2nd down and 9. The backs are split at their own 26. Receivers out to the left and right. Kozer again under center. This time it'll be a fake pitch handoff on the counter to Hunter, and he's back to the line of scrimmage, and then about 5 or 6 Mustangs are right there to make the play. It's no gain as Hunter, who has gained 267 yards total in his first 2 games, is held up 3rd down and 9 yards to go. And now you put this team in a passing situation, which is what both defenses want to do to the opposing offenses.
Yeah, hopefully they can get some pressure like they've been doing the first 2 games, the Mustang defense. See if they can make the quarterback make a mistake here.
The receiver to the left is Dre Thompson. 1 out to the right. 3rd down and 9 for the 26. And again, rolling to his left now is Kozer, throwing off his back foot towards the sideline, incomplete. Well short of Thompson at the 47-yard line. And he was defended there by Connor Fajardo. A flag is down, a hold, and that is going to go against Thomas Jefferson. The penalty is declined, and Thomas Jefferson will have to punt, and both quarterbacks have thrown 1 pass, 1 incompletion for the visiting team, and an interception thrown by the home team. And now Thomas Jefferson will have to punt on 4th and 9.
Well, so far the defensive line has done a good job plugging up anything up the middle.
This has got to be a quick kick. There's no way they're going for it here unless they don't know it's 4th down. Yeah, he's only about 5 yards behind center is Kozer. Got 4 receivers. Yeah, that's a short kick. Bounces at the 46 of Fort Morgan. Takes a huge hop down at the 30. There's a flag down at the 37-yard line. It's downed over there. It would be a punt if it holds 44 yards, but let's see what the flag is all about.
Yeah, it was thrown by the back judge. I'm not sure just what it's going to be here. They'll tell us here in a second.
No, they're waving off the flag. Yeah, I was wondering if that didn't fall out of somebody's pocket. Well, Fort Morgan demonstrated the ability to run the football well, but then they ran into that penalty. And as a result, Linker was forced to pass, but now he knows he can't throw that same type of pass any time in the game. That's just way too hard.
Yeah, you can't force it in there.
1st and 10 for the Mustangs at their own 30. No score. Fort Morgan's 2nd drive. Ortega is checking out of the game. Oh, this is a mess for Fort Morgan. They're getting on a player here at the last second, and Jesus Villalobos, unless Ortega was supposed to be in there and then something happened, they had to take him out.
Well, he'd come out earlier for an equipment change, and it looks like he's doing something else again. So,
1st and 10 at the 30. Linker with the customary clap of his hands has the football, hands it off to Hamer, and he's stuffed in the backfield for a big loss. Trying to run off left tackle, but loss of 3, it looks like, to the 27. 2nd down and 13. And the initial run stuffer, they're wearing 74. I don't have a 74 on here. Nonetheless, it's 2nd down, and we'll call it 12, a loss of 2 there for Hamer. And that could be setting up a passing situation, but the Mustangs don't want to get too desperate here. 2nd down and 12 from the 28. Trips to the left. One of those is a tight end. 1 receiver to the right. Linker back to throw, and the pass is nearly intercepted on the slant at the 32-yard line. Fajardo, the intended receiver, he did not see Avery Shunnison, a sophomore who was just sitting in the lane. And had he caught that pass, he had a lot of sideline in front of him.
Yeah, if he had that, it'd have been a pick 6 for sure.
3rd down and 12 for the 28, and this is the problem Morgan had last week. They couldn't put together sustained drives, but they did have the big play. 31-yard touchdown pass to Ortega last week, 56-yarder to Hamer. 82-yard run by Hamer. But that was all a week ago. 3rd down and 12 from the 28-yard line. 2 receivers to the left. Linker back to pass. He's got protection. Now it closes. Now he steps up deep up the left side, and that is going to be nearly intercepted at the 35-yard line. Intended for Jacob Ortega, but he's well covered. And now these opposing teams know that he's the primary target.
Yeah, they were step for step. It was the defender had better position than Ortega did.
Looks like
Yeah, we have some interference down there. We won't send it to Kevin until we can clear up the line. If not, he'll just join us here at halftime. Kevin at ground level on 4th down and 12.
They're still short somebody. I'm only counting 10.
Yep, that's only 10 out there. And it's a high snap, and Ortega chases it down, and he gets it off a low line drive, and it bounces at the 50-yard line, takes a Fort Morgan roll to the 45, and they've got to fix the issue with the snapper, the long snapper, because this happened twice last week, and it's not working. It's just not working. It's happened 3 times in a row, in fact, dating back to last week. Frankie Ortega again making a very athletic play, because if not, Thomas Jefferson would have had the ball in the red zone had Frankie not handled that ball.
Yeah, it was out over his head.
I mean, that is a punt of 27 yards, and again, no return. 1st and 10. When it comes to experience, Buildings by Design is the best in the business. Quality, commitment, and experience makes Buildings by Design the only choice when it comes to your next project. Buildings by Design. Now they place the ball at the 50.
They had an illegal procedure on the Mustangs on the punt.
Cards will take over on the 50, where they'll have it 1st and 10 there.
And now out of the pistol is Trenton Kozer with one setback. On 1st and 10 from midfield, the draw play. That is Hunter. Stutter steps, and then he's going to be tackled from behind, and he takes a 2-yard loss at the 48-yard line. Jesus Villalobos was the first Mustang in on the hit. James Oconato ran the football as well. 2nd down and a short 12, and Hunter not having any luck because his offensive line is not able to handle the Mustang defensive line.
No, right now the defensive line is winning that battle in the trenches.
2nd down and 12 for the 48-yard line. Still no score. 6:55 to go in the opening quarter from Fort Morgan. 2 receivers split each side. Again from the pistol. 4 yards behind center. Deep drop for Kozer. Sets. Throws it deep up the left side. Wide open. Complete. And that's a 1st down inside the 30. And right at the 30. Yep, Ethan Rollins. And that's a gain of 22. Good looking throw there by the sophomore quarterback Kozer.
Takes the ball to the 30-yard line with a...
Yeah, it was just kind of a pass out to the side out there, and he was being followed, but it was about 2 or 3 yards behind him.
Yeah, simple down and out.
Yep.
But the one thing Kozer did, as soon as the receiver was in his break, that ball was in the air. Can't throw that too late. 1st and 10 for Thomas Jefferson at the Mustang 30. Trips to the right. Kozer throws it out in the right flat. It is caught over there looking for a block. Crossing the 30 to the 25. It's a nice gain of 5 yards. Keyshawn Taylor
quick pass up the right side.
makes the catch. 2nd down and 5. And that pass game looking good right here over the last 2 plays.
Yeah, it trips right out there, and they just use the two receivers out there as blockers. Got him 5 yards. I thought maybe they were going to get him back there behind the line of scrimmage, but he got loose, got 5 yards.
As a result, 2nd down and 5 yards to go at the Mustang 25, lining up on that right hash mark. Now a TJ player was in the huddle, but now checking out of the game, or is he back in there? That's weird. He was running off the sideline. Some confusion there with Craig Thurman, and Thomas Jefferson's got to call a timeout. Yeah, it's rare you're in the huddle. You're about to leave the field of play, and then they say you got to get back in there. Maybe they didn't want a penalty. This will be the first of 2 consecutive home games for the Mustangs. They'll take on Conifer next week. 7 o'clock right here on B106 and B106.com. Before we get to that game, though, concern tonight for this opponent in Thomas Jefferson. As Fort Morgan had their chance, they recovered a fumble on a kickoff, but then an interception in the end zone thwarted that drive. And then Thomas Jefferson off a punt that went 27 yards with a 5-yard penalty against Fort Morgan. Started at midfield, but that was not Frankie Ortega's fault. Again, a high snap, and you're not going to get much on that football if you don't get the snap at least towards your chest. Trips to the left. 2nd down and 5 from the 25. One receiver to the right. Handoff. Hunter stutter steps. He spins towards the 20-yard line, close to a 1st down. Isaac Linker made the tackle. It's another gain of 5 here. Well, really the first gain of 5 for Hunter. He's got 3 carries for 3 yards, but it's a 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
1st and 10 from the 20-yard
He's kind of a shifty runner. He hits those holes pretty quick. They're making some nice holes on that right side for him right now.
Trips now to the left. That's 3 receivers, 1 out to the right. And now we've got a whistle and a flag. Penalty marker will be illegal procedure, false start.
Looks like a false start on the Spartans.
Against Thomas Jefferson, so that'll set up a 1st and 15. Fort Morgan has not trailed this season, and I don't think Thomas Jefferson has trailed this season either. That will change in this game, obviously. 1st and 15, handoff, Starter stepping, a big hole for Hunter right up the right sideline to the 10, to the 5, and he is into the end zone. Yep. A couple of nifty moves, and he scores from 25 yards away. Davion Hunter has given Thomas Jefferson a 6-0 lead in Fort Morgan.
Yeah, they had it off to him. He has some...
Well, once he gets through that first wave, they're going to go for 2. Keyshawn Taylor gets the snap, runs to his right, hit at the goal line, and he is...
According to the ref on the other side,
he's in. 2-point conversion is good. We have 5:18 to go in the opening quarter. Thomas Jefferson 8, Fort Morgan nothing on B106 and B106.com. $50-yard drive, and that's all they needed, a 50-yard drive, and half of those yards on one play, a 25-yard run by Devontae Hunter. And Thomas Jefferson is on the board with a 2-point conversion. They lead the Mustangs 8-0.
Yeah, they took advantage of their field position.
That's something, unfortunately, Fort Morgan could not do. And now it will be Kozer himself to kick it off. Mustangs should have Ortega back there. But this one is squibbed and right on his knee at the 32-yard line, which stops the play. That might be Leo Luna. And it is. So that's where the Mustangs will have the ball. Pretty good field position still, Brian.
Yeah, 31-yard line.
The ball there on the 31, 1st and 10.
Well, I was looking at their stats on their kickoffs, and they were showing like only their average was like 11 yards. So I was wondering if they weren't doing a lot of onside kicks.
1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. Off the 25-yard touchdown run and 2-point conversion there. Devontae Hunter with a run. Or Davion Hunter, I should say. Out of the pistol is Isaac Linker. With one setback, that's Hamer. Hamer has the handoff, running left back towards the middle, and he tumbles across the 35.
Hamer takes the handoff right up the middle.
We'll give him 4 yards on the play.
Picks up about 4 on the
It'll be
play.
2nd down and 6 to go. Avery Shunnison in on the hit for Thomas Jefferson.
Made a hole there a little bit on that left side.
At the 35, Ortega's the receiver to the right, Fajardo to the left. See if they can get into rhythm.
Yep.
Not throwing that ball too much if Hamer can just run it through that defense. And this time Linker keeps it. He's down at the line of scrimmage. That was read beautifully by the Thomas Jefferson defense. And in fact, it was Davion Hunter who made the play, along with Samuel Cole. 3rd down and 6. And that was the first carry of the game for Isaac Linker. 3rd and 6 from the 35. Will they have to rely on the big play for a 2nd consecutive week? The offense was in good rhythm against Brush, but not last week, even though they scored those 37 points. 2 receivers split each side. 3-step drop for Linker. Looks to his right, throws a slant. It's complete to Adam Cardona. A diving reception at the 43-yard line, a gain of 8. And that's a Fort Morgan Mustang 1st down. And to get somebody else involved other than Ortega and Fajardo on a limited basis is a big need for Fort Morgan.
That's for sure. Yeah, that was nice to see Cardona get that pass. And Linker was looking for somebody else besides Ortega.
1st and 10 from the 43. 8-0 Thomas Jefferson. 3.5 to go In the opening quarter, both teams have turned the ball over once. Man in motion to the right is Alex Ortega. Now he resets. Hamer has the football, shifting back towards the middle, and he dances his way across the 45 to the 46. That's some tough running there for J.P. Hamer because he had very little room. But it's a gain of 3, second down and 7. And now we got an official's timeout.
Hamer's got to come off. There must be a equipment malfunction or...
Craig Thurman, a senior, made the tackle. Hamer already's got 6 carries for 31 yards, much better than he did in the first half last week when he had 10 carries for 27.
Yeah, I think he's bleeding. I think he just came over and got a towel and put it on his left arm, so they got to stop the bleeding.
Second down and 7 for the Mustangs at their own 47-yard line. Ortega is now the setback out of the pistol. And Linker will hand it off to Ortega, running to his right, has the right sideline to midfield, and then leaps over a defender. First down across the 45, and nearly a late hit along the sideline at the 41. Nice play there by Ortega.
Running over the right side.
I'm surprised they didn't throw a flag on that. He was already down, and the guy came in and hit him high.
Well, we'll give him a gain of 14 yards for Jacob Ortega.
Hard running there. Once he got tackled, he still gained about 3 or 4 yards.
Ortega remains a lone setback. Will they keep it on the ground? On 1st and 10, and there's the handoff to Ortega. He stutter steps, breaks out of a tackle, has the right sideline, and then he's going to be down as he stretches out the football.
Ortega makes a few tackles there on the right side.
But that could have been less than a yard, and instead he picks up 2.
Looks like he come up with 2 yards.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job tonight. I'm glad to see him in there. Nothing against Eddie DePriest, but I think Ortega is our number 2 back.
Well, Ortega's also a junior, Eddie a sophomore, so experience has, I think, something to do with that as well. Well, that's close to 3 yards. We'll give him 3 instead. Just shy of the 37-yard line. Second down and 7 to go. 2 receivers out to the left. Cardona to the right. Linker, 4 yards behind center, awaits the snap. Has the football. Linker will keep it himself, running off left tackle, and he stretches out to the 35.
Beats it on the play.
And now we got a stoppage. Not sure what happened there. As the tackle was made by a couple of Thomas Jefferson Spartans. Hamer back in.
6-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know why they would have stopped it.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. 3rd down. And we'll call it a short 6 to go from the 36-yard line. The Spartans in the lead 8-0 on a 25-yard touchdown run by Davion Hunter and a 2-point conversion. Again, 2 receivers to the left, 1 split out to the right. And this will be a handoff to Hamer, running right, then back towards the middle. First down at the 25, and he's down at the 21. J.P. Hamer with a gain of 15 yards. A nifty run once again there for Hamer. The tackle was made by Ethan Rollins.
Yeah, nice job there by Hamer. Went up the middle, dodged a couple of tackles, and got down for the first down.
First and 10 at the 20. Again, Hamer the lone setback. The way he's running, you might not need too many other plays in the arsenal. Linker this time will roll out to his left. Linker throws underneath. The pass is caught underneath, trying to break a tackle down. And was his knee down or not?
No.
Boy, that's an excellent play over there along the far side. And that's Ortega with a catch.
I think it was Alex Ortega.
It was Alex Ortega. And he's down to the 10. It's a gain of 10 for a first down on that underneath dump to the senior Alex Ortega. Well, once again, the Mustangs have first and goal at the 10. The last time they were intercepted in the end zone. Isaac Linker this time hands it off to Hamer, off left tackle to the 5, and he's still trying to stretch out that football as they grab him around the ankles at the 4. It's a gain of 6. Second down and goal to go, just inside the 5. They're going to backtrack that football
into the quarter.
With the score, Thomas Jefferson 8, Fort Morgan nothing. We're back in 1 minute on B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back with Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde. 8-0 Thomas Jefferson as we head to the second quarter, but the Mustangs are threatening with a football at the 4-yard line. J.P. Hamer had a very good opening quarter. 53 yards on 8 carries. I mean, you'll take that. He's on pace for 200.
Yeah, he was held. He didn't have a very good first half even last week.
Right, 10 carries for 27. On second and goal from the 4. Let's see if this is Hamer time. In motion to the left is Ortega. Hand off to Hamer. Stutter stepping back towards the middle. Drives towards the goal line, and he is down at the goal line. It's a gain of 3, down at the 1.
No signal yet. Looks like the ball.
Brian, let's not assume anything because the Mustangs fumbled
3rd and goal
at the goal line a week ago.
Yeah.
So even though it looks promising right now, 3rd and goal just inside the 1. Villalobos resets, and now we got a flag down. Offsides against Thomas Jefferson, I would think, but you can line up offsides offensively. Yeah, he said encroachment, so that's definitely defensively. So that'll move the ball a few inches.
Yeah.
That'll move the ball an inch closer. It'll still be 3rd down.
All right, here we go. And there's Linker with a keeper, and he's going to score easily. Beautiful. An easy touchdown for Isaac Linker. He was untouched between his guard and tackle, and the Mustangs are on the board. They trail Thomas Jefferson 8-6. Now, Fort Morgan is 2 out of 2, I believe, Brian, on 2-point conversions. So let's see if they decide to go that route.
Well, looks like Jose
Jimenez
is in.
He will attempt the extra point. Off the hold of Isaac Linker. Jimenez with a very accurate leg, perfect snap. That kick looks pretty good from here, and it is. 11:16 to go, second quarter. Thomas Jefferson 8, Fort Morgan 7. This is B106 and B106.com. Jose Jimenez boots the ball 7 yards into the end zone, and the Mustangs are on the board. It's 8-7 Thomas Jefferson. So they will take over at their own 20-yard line. John Beltran with Brian Nickel, Kevin Rohde on the field. 2 in the backfield, and there's the give on the right side. Hunter stutter steps back towards the middle. A nice move across the 25 towards the 29. Man, he is one of the best backs we've seen in a while. Eddie DePriest was in on the hit along with Linker and a couple of others, including Villalobos, but it's a gain of 9, second down and 1.
Yeah, the outside containment was there. They sent him back to the middle, but he still got 9.
Well, because he's right in front of you, and then he makes these horizontal moves with his upper body.
Right.
And there's a give on the counter on the end around across the 40. There's a flag down, back to the middle to the 50. That's Keyshawn Taylor up the left sideline, breaking a tackle to the 20-yard line. He might go to the 10, to the 5. It's a touchdown, but it might not count. If it counts, it goes 71 yards. The flag was thrown behind the line of scrimmage, and this will be a hold against Thomas Jefferson, nullifying a 71-yard touchdown.
Yeah, that was a big penalty on them. And maybe that's the penalty, that holding penalty sprung him from that backfield.
Well, let's see. Let's see if we can check in with Kevin. I don't know if he saw that clearly from there, because that was thrown quickly. That was a very quick flag. Did you? Yeah, we still got some interference here, Kevin. So we'll keep it up here. Yeah, we'll keep it right up here. We still have some interference with our downstairs signal, so we'll keep it right up here. But we'll talk about that play at halftime because that's a momentum changer. Thomas Jefferson could have gone up by at least 8 points, if not more. Now the football is back at the 17-yard line. Big penalty there against the Spartans. So it's second down, again, and officially 13 yards to go. In the early moments of the second quarter, Thomas Jefferson leads Fort Morgan 8-7. Receiver out to the right is Craig Thurman. One out to the left. The setbacks are Hunter and Rollins. Hunter, the leading rusher for this TJ team. Under center, handoff, Rollins left side, and he dives across the 20 to about the 22. It's a gain of 5. And in on the play was Alex Ortega, the leading tackler for this team. 3rd down and 8. After the second carry in the game by Rollins. By the way, that first Fort Morgan score of the game brought to you by Cargill Meat Solutions, working with the community to make sure there are jobs for the members of the communities they're in. Cargill Meat Solutions, the 1-yard run, 44 seconds into the second by Isaac Linker. On 3rd down and 8 to go, Thomas Jefferson at their own 22, 2 receivers out to the right. Now Rollins in motion to the left, he'll reset. The lone setback is Hunter, and now we have Thomas Jefferson calling their second timeout. We'll take it with them. With the score, Thomas Jefferson 8, Fort Morgan 7, 9:44 to go in the second quarter on B106 and B106.com. Critical juncture in the game, 3rd down and 8 to go for Thomas Jefferson at their own 22-yard line. The Mustangs can somewhat flip the field a little bit.
Right.
If they can stop Thomas Jefferson. Rollins is one of the receivers out to the right with Craig Thurman, 2 to the left out of the pistol. Hunter the lone setback on 3rd and 8. 5-step drop, stepping up in the pocket, pressured, rolling out to his right, flushed, throws along the run, wide open, caught at the 43-yard line, to the 45, at midfield, breaking a tackle, stumbling down to the 40, with room at the 30, down the sideline to the 15, the 10-5, touchdown, and that is Dre Thompson. Unbelievable. 77 yards.
Short pass, he turns that into a long touchdown for the
Wow. And it's now Thomas Jefferson 14, Fort Morgan 7.
Man.
I mean, that was just terrible tackling by the Mustangs, quite frankly.
Yeah, and then once he got behind him, they should have had him out here about the 40, 45-yard line.
Yeah, we'll give it 78 officially. Out of the shotgun, naked backfield, and there is Hunter to his right, and he's got the pylon. He's going to score easily. 2-point conversion is good. Off the 78-yard run off the catch by Dre Thompson. We have got 9:26 to go, second quarter. Time for a break. Thomas Jefferson 16, Fort Morgan 7 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Brian, a simple explanation of what happened there. The Mustangs did not cover Dre Thompson and then didn't tackle Dre Thompson.
No, once they got him, then he took off across the field, and he had a couple of opportunities to get tackled, and he slipped right out of their hands that got down that far sideline, and he just outran everybody to the end zone.
78 yards from Trenton Kozer. Kozer did a nice job of reading the pressure and then rolling out to his right to avoid a sack, and wide open was Thompson in the middle of the field. And we haven't seen Fort Morgan's defense struggle like this. They had not a lot of point in the first half until this game.
Yeah, defensive end angled in, and they're going to onside kick again.
Yeah, and that ball is loose, but the Mustangs pounce on it at their own 42-yard line.
Mustangs recover the short kickoff at about the 43-yard
So
line.
it seems that tonight they're going to have good field position most of the time.
Yeah, it looks like they've got to take advantage of it. They just, they've got to answer this one, answer that last touchdown.
First and 10.
At their own 42-yard line, Cardona's the outside receiver to the left. On the inside slot is Jacob Ortega. The Mustangs have been burned by the big play themselves this season, but they've had a lot more big plays in the opposition, but not so far in this game. Trying to get back on track. From the pistol formation, Linker will hand it off to Hamer, but flags fly. There was movement well before the snap. So it'll be a first down and 15 to go. Mobile banking on the go makes banking easier for you when you're on the go. Equitable Savings and Loan. Check it out today.
Penalty cost them 5 yards. 5 more yards they got to go to get to the end zone.
Now they're 63 yards away, and they're down by 2 scores. Those 2 two-point conversions are big. Fort Morgan elected to kick the extra point after Thomas Jefferson scored. And this will be a quarterback keeper. Linker to his left, back to the middle, back to the original line of scrimmage. As he dives across the 40 to the 42. It's a gain of 5. And the tackler was Blaine Wilson, a 6'4", 230-pound senior defensive end. 2nd down and 5. Linker now with 3 carries for 6 yards.
Looks like he's lined up offsides to me at this end over here. We'll see if they...
Well, he is lined up offsides. From our angle, no doubt.
I'm surprised they're not throwing a flag.
2nd down and 5. I mean, he's in the neutral zone, it looks like, but again, we're at a different angle. Man in motion is Ortega. Linker will hand it off to Hamer. Big hole up the middle, and he crosses the 45 towards the 47. He hit that hole very quickly.
Yeah.
We'll give him close to 6. Just shy of the 48 for J.P. Hamer. 3rd down and 4 to go. You know, you could stick with a run here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the way they've been running it.
Well, Hamer's got 62 yards on 10 carries. And he's the setback once again. Alex Ortega and Jacob Ortega looking over towards the bench along with their skill position teammates. 3rd down and 4, just shy of the 48. For the pistol, Linker, handoff, Hamer, and he's hit in the backfield. Ethan Rollins read it perfectly as he ran to his left. Threw him for a 1-yard loss at the 47. And here comes Frankie Ortega. The Mustangs will have to punt on 4th and 5.
Yeah, Rollins just shot the gap. They were just bringing people to stop that run. They figured they were going to run, and they did, and they stopped it.
Now here, let's see what type of snap we get here. I mean, let's see what type of snap. A little bit of a high one, but that's a better one, and a heavy rush, but he gets it off. Beautiful punt. Bounces at the 21, takes a huge Fort Morgan roll towards the sideline. You got to touch it, because it was almost going in Thomas Jefferson's direction to the 17. But Frankie Ortega with another outstanding punt, as that one went for 37 yards, no return.
Yeah, that was a nice high punt. I think that's probably been as far as distance, his best punt so far this year, but he's done a great job of placing that ball either out of bounds so they can't return it, or nice hang time like that one where they were able to recover it.
7:17 to go, 2nd quarter. Thomas Jefferson leads Fort Morgan 16-7. And Thomas Jefferson right up to the line of scrimmage. Again from the pistol, where they've been successful here. Back to throw is Kozer. Looks, sets up deep up the left side, and that ball is broken up. Boy, nearly caught, and then, well, I think both had their hands on the ball. Donovan Moya broke it up at the 43-yard line, but if that ball's thrown a little bit deeper, that would have been trouble. As Thompson was out there, I believe, again, or that might have been that time, Craig Thurman.
Yeah, Donovan Moya right in his pocket, but it was just a little underthrown. As you said, if they'd have let him out there about another yard.
Yeah, it would have been trouble again.
Have a referee timeout. Somebody's going out of the game.
We've already seen a few of those.
Not sure what sent 88 off.
Well, that should be Thurman.
Yeah.
2nd down and 10 to go. That's only the 2nd incompletion by Kozer, but then again, he's only attempted 5 passes. But he's thrown for 105 yards, including the 78-yard touchdown to Drake Thompson. 2nd down and 10 from the 17. 2 receivers split out to the left, 2 to the right. Kozer with a hard count, trying to get Fort Morgan to jump. And now that's a delay of game.
Yep.
You can see the back judge counting down.
Really wanted to keep that timeout for later on.
So now we're looking at 2nd and 15 from the 12.
So we're back where we were last time when Fort Morgan had them in 3rd and short down here, and they got that touchdown. So they need to step up and try to stop them on this one.
Yeah, you can't assume anything at this point.
No.
You cannot assume anything. So here we go. It'll be 2nd down and 15 at the 12.
From the 12-yard line.
And don't put it past Thomas Jefferson to even run the ball.
Right.
even though Fort Morgan's done a pretty decent job with the exception of that one play that went for 25 in the touchdown. One setback, trips to the left. On 2nd and 15 from the 12. Kozer about a 6-step drop. Now he steps up and he's going to be sacked. He is sacked back at the 6-yard line. Nearly got out of the pressure, but then he was thrown down to the ground.
Brian Paxton.
Yep. Paxton, a junior, throws him for a 6-yard loss.
Nice job. Nice pressure there by the Mustangs.
Well, now he got 3rd and 21. Well, this time they can flip the field, but they had that opportunity last time. But it's going to be tough to pull this off now. On 3rd and 21 for the 6. 6.5 to go, second quarter. In Fort Morgan, Thomas Jefferson leads by 9. 16-7, the Mustangs have a 1-yard touchdown run from Isaac Linker. They've run the draw before. This might be a good time for a draw for TJ. Nope, back to throw in his end zone. Now stepping up as Kozer runs out of pressure along the sideline, wants to take off with the football, giving chase to Ortega. And he's down, maybe at around the 15. Picked up some valuable yardage just to get some breathing room. And Kozer was able to gain 9 yards in the play.
That's some pressure from up front and also some good coverage out in the secondary.
4th and 12. We should have another quick kick. That look, apparently they don't punt out of a normal formation. See, it appears they're going for it, and they won't do that. On 4th and 12, this will just be a quick kick, but Fort Morgan has nobody back.
No, they didn't last time either.
There it is, and that ball is just going to roll once it hits into Fort Morgan territory at the 40-yard line. Yeah, I think Fort Morgan's got to have somebody back there. They're not going to go for it there. Yeah, that turns into a 45-yard punt. That's the problem. With no return?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if they're staying up because they're afraid they're going to run the play or run or pass out of that, and they need their guys up. I'm not sure what they're looking at. Maybe that'll be something they'll
But
change.
they've already done it once. Wouldn't it make sense, Brian, to have somebody back?
Well, yeah, you think
I mean,
so.
that ball took about 13 yards of hops.
Yeah.
Once it hit in Thomas Jefferson territory. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs at their own 40, trailing by 9 midway through the second quarter in Fort Morgan. Jacob Ortega, the receiver, out to the left. Fajardo to the right. J.P. Hamer, the lone setback. Awaiting the snap is Linker. Nearly 5 yards behind center. Three-step drop. Looks. He's going to take off with a football. Stutter steps, and he's down behind the line of scrimmage. That'll go as a sack. And that is Davion Hunter. Throws him down for a loss of half a yard.
Yep.
And nobody was open.
He had some room there initially when he pulled it down, but TJ closed quickly.
2nd down and what's called a long 10 right now, just shy of the 40. Mustang offense, again, just not in rhythm. In the passing game, we're looking at 2 out of 5 for 18 yards and an interception. Lenker this time will hand it off to Hamer, and he's got nothing. Maybe back to the original line of scrimmage, but too many Spartans in there, including Hunter, as well as Avery Shunnison. 3rd down and 10 to go.
Yeah, there's just no room right there right now.
The Spartan getting off the field quickly, but Fort Morgan's not going to run the play that quickly. Into the game for the Mustangs is Dylan Woods. 3 out to the right, 1 to the left. That's Fajardo. On 3rd and 10 from their own 40-yard line. From the pistol. Linker is back to throw. The slant. It's caught by Fajardo. He spins across the 50. That's a 1st down. Nice throw. Excellent catch there by Connor Fajardo. And it's a gain of close to 11.
Yeah, just a timing pass. Fajardo went down, cut in, and the ball was almost in his hands when he turned.
The Mustangs have it at the Thomas Jefferson 49. We are under 4 minutes to go before halftime. On 1st and 10 in Thomas Jefferson territory. Woods resets. Linker hands it off to Hamer. Up the left side, and he slams right into a Thomas Jefferson player in Shunnison. And he's down, but it's a gain of 3. 2nd down and 7, but they can't take too much time between plays. That clock will work against them.
Down to 3.5 minutes in the first half.
Yeah, they've held this football for at least 3 minutes. On 2nd down and 7. From the 46-yard line of Thomas Jefferson. Again, just waiting for play instructions. Ortega's now in that backfield. On 2nd down, there's a pass out in the right flat, caught by Moya. He's got the right sideline to the 40. There's a flag down. There could be interference on the Cardona down at the 36-yard line. Cardona might have been blocking.
Either blocking or holding, one or the other.
Yeah, I think that's going to go against Fort Morgan. Yeah, it's going to be a hold. The FAR official is indicating a hold, and it is against Fort Morgan, nullifying a 10-yard gain. Remember, you still got some underclassmen out there for the Mustangs, and that's when you mix them in there with a couple of seniors, there are learning curves.
Yep, and this is where they need to learn before the before league play starts.
Moves the ball back to outside the 50.
Now the football's at their own 49. 2nd down, and we'll call it about 11. A long 11 at that. And again, the clock is moving. Or it was moving. Now at 2:54 it stopped because of the penalty. Eddie DePriest is now in the game. On 2nd down from the 49. Isaac Linker, stutter steps, run towards the middle at the 50, still on his feet, and he drags defenders and still going. In fact, he was never tackled, but got to the 46-yard line. That's a nice gain of 5, setting up a manageable 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, I think that's been his best run so far tonight.
Yep, he had another 5-yarder. He's got 5 carries for 11 yards. 3rd and 6 for the 46. I don't think it's 4-down territory unless they're very close to a 1st down. Remember that Fort Morgan will receive the second half kickoff, so they don't have to be too desperate at this point. On 3rd down and 6. And there is the handoff to Hamer. He is hit in the backfield. A flag is down. And I don't think the play ever commenced. Let's see what the flag is all about.
I'm not sure where the flag came from. Whether it was from the side judge?
Yeah, it was a side judge. Well, they can't count that play.
No.
A hold against Fort Morgan on a play that took about 3 seconds?
Man.
That's a quick call.
Man.
Well, anyway, they're going to decline it. No gain for Hamer. But Brian, have you ever seen a hold like that?
No,
on that quick?
Not
that play did not even take 3 seconds.
It was just like that. And the flag was in the air just as the ball was snapped.
Yeah, how do you call a hold on that? I mean, I couldn't hold you that quick right now.
No. And I don't know if I'd want you to. But.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That would be very inappropriate of me, Brian. All right, here's a snap to Ortega. He gets off a nice punt, headed towards the sideline, bounces at the 14, takes a huge Fort Morgan roll down to the 2, maybe the 1.
Yeah, nice job.
Donovan Moya downs it. And once again, it's the Frankie Ortega show on special teams. I mean, now they've got to get out of this.
Yeah, minute 38 left in the first half.
Fort Morgan, I believe, has 2 timeouts remaining. I'm not sure if they took one earlier. Are those timeouts that are indicated on the sides? Because that would mean they both have just 1 left. Nope, that's not. Okay, no. I'm sorry. That's 1st and 10 at the 1. I should know better. But I think Fort Morgan has at least 2, if not 3 timeouts.
Yeah, I know they at least have 2.
Well, do you line up under center and then run it with your quarterback if you're Thomas Jefferson? You lead by 9.
Tight formation.
Yep, and this will be a run over to the right by Hunter. He barely got out of the end zone, then he's down at the 2. Maybe the 3. That was close. Villalobos in on the play. That was very close. That'll give him 2 yards.
Yeah, he about bounced it out, but somebody grabbed him around the ankles.
2nd down and 8 to go from the 3. They're just letting the clock run. We got 1:03 to go here before the break. In a much quicker moving first half than we had last week. Then again, every other game would be like that too.
Yeah.
From the pistol, 2 receivers split out each side. Kozer back in the middle of his end zone, throws underneath, it's incomplete. Well, I'm surprised they didn't run again.
Yeah, did run the clock out. Then we'll see if the Mustangs will, I don't know. I doubt if they'll call timeout if they run it again.
We'll get Kevin Rohde's thoughts here at halftime. 3rd down and 8 from the 3. Well, now Fort Morgan can use a timeout if they run a play and don't get a first down with 44.3 seconds to go. Again, a few yards behind center, standing in the end zone as the quarterback Kozer throws it out in the left flat. It's caught underneath, utilizing the sideline. That's a first down across the 20, down to the 30, and knocked out of bounds. And is that Thompson? Let's see who made that catch. I think.
Can't see a number yet.
Or is that, it's either Thurman or Thompson.
The runner out of bounds. 12 we placed on the 30.
So hard to see along the side, but I believe that was caught over there by Dre Thompson. So it's a gain of 29 yards. That was Taylor. Check that. Keyshawn Taylor made the catch. That's his 2nd catch. Back to throw, Kozer. He's pressured. He's sacked. Boy, sacked back at the 23-yard line. And getting a big hold of him for Fort Morgan was Devin Gherkin. So that loss is back to the 24. It's a loss of 8. That's our 2nd sack here in the 2nd quarter. But again, you had a chance, Brian, on 2 occasions in this quarter to hold Thomas Jefferson back. One was a touchdown, the other one for 29 on a 3rd and 8.
Yeah, they're finding the open guy here on 3rd down.
25.5 seconds to go. Fort Morgan does call a timeout. But then again, are you going to get the ball back here? They really had a big shot to get it back, but down by 9 here. It'll be 2nd down. And we'll call it about at the 24, not the 29. 2nd and 18.
Yeah.
Naked backfield. Kozer back to throw. Pressure coming once again, and he's going to be sacked again. Holy mahungus, the Mustangs coming up with their 3rd sack, and that once again is Gherkin.
Yep.
He's been unblockable.
Yep. Back-to-back sacks.
Another loss of 9. Morgan's going to stop the clock again. 3rd sack in this quarter by Fort Morgan. Well, now you've got a 3rd and 27. What's that clock read, Brian? You got the angle that...
They set it back to 19 seconds.
Fort Morgan takes the timeout. 19 seconds on the clock.
Well, I'd have to imagine they're going to run the football here. Well, why take a chance? You're up by 9. You let Fort Morgan right back into the game if you make a mistake. And the Mustangs have not come up with that huge play that they've had each of the last 2 weeks. And they've had multiple huge plays. Fort Morgan's biggest play of the opening half was a 16-yard run by, or check it, 22 by Hamer. His 2nd carry. He's had 12 other carries since and has 1 double-digit carry for yardage. In fact, JP's been held down in the second quarter, but he hasn't run the ball much in the second.
No. Spartans will have it 3rd and 27.
No, they're
Go out the 15-yard line.
figuring him out. They'll have to come up with something different on their offense coming up the second half.
3rd down and 27 at their own 15. Got to get to the 42. Trips to the right. One receiver to the left. Kozer wants to throw. Deep drop. Pressure once again. And he gets out of a tackle. Then he hits the left sideline and he's out of bounds. Boy, he could have been sacked again.
Yeah.
And then he stops the clock.
12.1 seconds.
Got back to the original line of scrimmage. I got to tell you, I know that Thomas Jefferson's leading the game. I have no idea what they're doing. I mean, did they really think that? I mean, I know they had a huge touchdown, but they're giving Fort Morgan a chance here, which is great for the Mustangs with 12.1 seconds to go. Because now you got a shot for a Hail Mary.
Yep.
Yeah, they can try to quick kick all they want now. Nobody's buying that. Ortega's back at midfield.
Timeout for Fort Morgan.
Well, I guess they figured that if you don't use it now, you could have used it after an offensive play.
Well, they said that was their second, so I think that first timeout we saw a little bit ago was Thomas Jefferson's third.
Yeah. What TJ did here, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Why, when you're up 9, run plays to the point that you can give the ball back to Fort Morgan when you could go into halftime protecting that lead, also knowing that Fort Morgan receives a second-half kickoff.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense to me. But, you know what? Whatever it takes to get back in the game and perhaps even win the game.
So we can get a good return back here because they had Ortega back, so they're going to have somebody back anyway on the punt.
We are just past the top of the hour. If you're listening live, this is Morgan County's B106 KPRB. Brush, Fort Morgan, John Beltran with Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde. And 12.1 seconds to go. It'll be another one of these quick kicks by Kozer. He's only standing 5 yards behind the center. And he gets it very short. And it's going to bounce at about the 31-yard line. And it's going to take a nice Thomas Jefferson roll down to the 43. That clock's got to stop here.
2.2 seconds.
Yeah. All right, now you got to go end zone.
Rolls in about the 40.
That's the thing with a quick kick. You never know where it's going to go.
I thought maybe they were going to come out of that in fairly decent field position, but
well, the one thing you want to do is kick it towards the sideline, which is exactly what he did. Distance is really, it's not as relevant as kicking it towards the sideline and getting that time to roll.
Right.
So this will be one play for Fort Morgan at the 43-yard line. Unless there's a defensive penalty, the half will come to an end. 2 receivers split out each side. And now Fort Morgan calls their last timeout. You're right, Brian. They had that one timeout in their pocket. Well, you can put up a Hail Mary, hook and ladder.
Yep.
One of those. But I don't think any of those were in your nickel package.
No, they weren't.
Yeah. Then again, down by 9 is not in the nickel package either. So.
No,
right.
The last drive has been pretty good where they've sacked him twice.
Right.
They've been getting nice pressure on him, but other than that, he's been getting out of the pocket and finding these receivers that are taking off and running.
Well, if you're going to throw it into the end zone, you got to have Linker roll out to his right where he's most effective.
Right.
Step up, not throw on the run. Because Isaac gets very comfortable throwing on the run because he's been asked to throw on the run dating back to his junior year with all those rollouts. Hard to throw on the run and get it into the end zone from 43 yards away. So here we go. Final play, unless there's a defensive penalty of the opening half. 1st and 10, Fort Morgan at the Thomas Jefferson 43. 2 receivers out to the right. Cardona to the left. Hamer the lone setback. Ortega in a slot. Back to throw his Linker. He's going to roll out to his right. Heave it off his back foot towards the 5-yard line. Incomplete. As Jacob Ortega fell down. And again, he didn't set, but it didn't really matter because Ortega was not that close to the end zone, and there were 2 defenders guarding and blanketing Jacob Ortega.
Thomas Jefferson.
We've hit the half with the score.
7.
Thomas Jefferson 16, Fort Morgan 7 on B106 and B106.com. And to begin the third quarter, a flag is down at the 25, but Thomas Jefferson has just recovered an onside kick. I wonder if that's going to count. All the players are just standing,
Flags down.
and I don't know if they actually put the ball into play.
Yeah, not either. I don't remember if I heard a whistle or not, but it was quick. I mean,
Well, we've seen odd things happen quickly tonight, like that holding penalty right off the snap of the football. And I think Fort Morgan's going to have the ball here. Illegal procedure against Thomas Jefferson. They will have to re-kick. So they will re-kick at the 35. So now Fort Morgan should have very good field position.
yep. According to their stats on Max Preps, they're only averaging like 11, almost 12 yards a kick.
Well, the hands team is up there. Caden Edson, J.P. Hamer, Connor Fajardo, Alex Ortega, Jesus Villalobos, Nick Norris.
As soon as they set that up, Thurman came across and kicked it instead of Kosher.
Yep, and this time it looks like Kozer will just do it himself. And this will be a little squib at the 40-yard line and along the right sideline out of bounds. I believe that's Dylan Woods. All right, at the 43-yard line for Fort Morgan to start the second half.
It's a good field position, and you need to take advantage of this.
First and 10 from the 44.
Jacob Ortega out to the left, first and 10 for the Mustangs at their own 44. Fajardo out to the right. Thomas Jefferson with a 16-7 lead. 25-yard touchdown run for Davion Hunter and a 78-yard pass from Kozer to Dre Thompson. Mustangs got a 1-yard run by Isaac Linker after they trailed 8-0. From the pistol at the 43, Linker hands it off to Hamer, right side. He's across the 45 to the 47, running behind his right tackle. And he was hit on the play by Davion Hunter, second down. And about
7.
Yeah, closer to, we'll give him 4 yards. A long 6 to go for the Mustangs at the 47-yard line. Again from the pistol. Linker up to the line of scrimmage, looking over towards the sideline. Yeah, there's some college teams who do that as well.
All right.
Don't see it as much at the high school level. Linker, Hamer, swings it to the outside. He's going to be thrown for a loss. No blocking out there on the right side at the 45-yard line, loss of 2.
We'll bring up third down.
And the hit came from Avery Shunnison. 6 foot, 200-pound linebacker. Third down. And a little bit over 8 yards to go. Cardona and Jacob Ortega to the left. Connor Fajardo is the receiver to the right. Just inside across the 45-yard line. Just shy of the 46. And there was movement along the Mustang offensive line.
Delay. Didn't get it off in time.
Yeah, I thought I saw movement as well, but there's no excuse for a delay. I mean, there never is, but not
Not when
you're down by 9 and you got the bag judge, but we haven't seen a rhythm to this offense at all.
No.
So it's back at the 41. Third down and 13. So Fort Morgan has gone backwards here in the opening couple of minutes of the second half. Down 16-7, a critical game for both teams. Thomas Jefferson ranked 7th going in, and Fort Morgan at number 9. On third down and 13, Linker from the pistol, 5-step drop, steps up in the pocket, throws out to his left, incomplete. Through the hands of Alex Ortega at the 41.
pass intended for
It'll be
Alex.
fourth down.
Through his hands. Incomplete. That'll bring up fourth down.
Now just 3 out of 7 for 29 yards and a pick.
Yeah, it should have been caught. It went right through his hand. I don't know if he had made a first
No.
down or not, but
He would have had to break about 2 or 3 tackles. Too many out there.
you got to at least catch it and give yourself a chance.
That's true. You know what a difference a couple of weeks makes, Brian? Remember how fun and exciting
Yeah.
it was 2 weeks ago, and now it just seems so stale. Good snap there. Ortega gets it off. Fluttering punt. It'll drop at the 25-yard line. Take a huge Fort Morgan roll, and it's off a Thomas Jefferson player, and the Mustangs have recovered it at the 17. I have no idea what Keyshawn Taylor was doing. He tried to field it on a funny hop, and the Mustangs have got the football, and it's recovered either by Moya or Luna, and they're already in the red zone at the 17. We've seen 2 huge mistakes tonight on special teams by Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, he had no reason to field that at all. He apparently thought he could take it and get away with it. But
What, to go for 1 or 2 yards? I mean, you're
they
not
were
doing
right
anything
there.
with the ball. Hey, but you know what? Fort Morgan needs a break like this. 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line of Thomas Jefferson. 16-7, Spartans with 10-12 to go in the third quarter. Let's see if they're going to give it to Hamer here to pick up a few yards. Nope. Play action rolling out to his right, throwing on the run. The pass is complete underneath inside the 10 to about the 7. A well-designed play. And that was Dylan Woods. Check that. It was Woods.
Dylan Woods out there.
Is that at about the 7? Got to be about 2nd and 1 there.
Bring up second, very short.
Yeah, that was a nice catch out there by Woods.
Well, an excellent throw by Isaac Linker on 2nd down and 1 for the 7. Now that could open up the run game.
Yep.
Hamer more than likely will get it on this play. Nope, it says bootleg left. There might have been a miscommunication there, and Linker's going to spin back towards the line of scrimmage. I think he wanted to hand it off. That did not look like a natural bootleg.
No, I think Hamer went right, and he was expecting to go to the left, and they missed, but he got the first. No, I don't.
It looks like he's got a first down. They might have to measure here.
Yeah.
Looks like the officials timeout here.
Yeah, that was a busted play.
First down.
Yep. He's got the first down. It's at the 6. Western Engineering Consultants. Engineering and consulting services for all of your projects. Western Engineering Consultants. The Mustangs are trying to make this a single-score game. First and goal at the 6. Linker hands off to Hamer. He's stuffed right in the middle, right up the gut, and there were a bunch of Spartans right there. No chance, and it's a loss of a yard.
Yeah,
Wow.
no room there whatsoever.
You got to wonder, Ryan, where's the blocking?
Second and goal from the 7.
There was no evidence there.
No.
From the 7.
They need to take advantage of this field position.
From the pistol, Linker is going to spin out to his right. He throws towards the end zone. The pass is going to be caught for a touchdown in the front right corner of the end zone. Is that Cardona? Let's see who
Ortega, I believe.
emerges from there. Yeah, but it is Jacob Ortega. Jacob Ortega in the front right corner of the end zone from 7 yards away. His first reception of the game for Ortega, his 6th touchdown of the year. And the Mustangs make this a 16-13 game. Now Jimenez to attempt the extra point. Linker to hold. Perfect snap. And that is going to be good by Jose Jimenez. We have got 8:13 to go, third quarter. The score, Thomas Jefferson 16, Fort Morgan 14 on B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs take advantage of a special teams mistake by Thomas Jefferson. 7-yard pass from Linker to Ortega. 5th touchdown pass of the year for Linker. And now it's a 16-14 game, just over 8 minutes to go in the third. Now you just got to play the defense that you did towards the latter portion of that second quarter.
Yeah. Bring the pressure.
Let's see if Jimenez can boot this into the end zone. High and deep, backing up at the 2. That might be Taylor across the 10 to the 15 and down at about the 17-yard line.
At about the 2.
Not much.
And returns it out to, looks like,
That, in fact, is
18.
Craig Thurman.
Yeah, nice coverage there by the Mustangs.
1st and 10 for Thomas Jefferson at their own 17-yard line.
1st and 10 from the 17.
Fill your cooler and gas up your car. Stubbs Gas and Oil in Wiggins. At the 17. From the pistol once again is Trenton Kozer. Trips to the left. On 1st down, there's the handoff. Stutter stepping back to the right side. A big hole for Rollins across the 30. Still on his feet. Make that Hunter. Hunter at the 40 with 1 to beat along the left sideline. Back at the 40. Flag is down. He's still down on his feet. Now down, I should say, at the 27-yard line. Now he's going to gain some yardage because the flag was thrown way down the field.
Play as well.
And it would go for 56 yards, but some of this is coming back.
56-yard run.
Yep, some of this is definitely coming back. But he's going to gain some yardage out of this. It's a hold against Thomas Jefferson.
And I think this is sideline warning against the Mustangs.
Let's see where they walk this off from. The 43. Well, you know what? It's still 40 yards. Still a 40-yard run there for Hunter. So 1st and 10 for Thomas Jefferson at the 46. But again, they had a shot at the line of scrimmage, but he made that one move. And Fort Morgan unable to make the play. But they catch a break with that holding penalty, which essentially took about 25 yards of field position away from Thomas Jefferson. Trips to the right. 1st and 10 for the 46. And this will be a give. Hunter's got a seam to the outside of the 50. Cuts it back to the inside. 1st down across the 45 towards the 40-yard line. And that is a solid gain once again. That'll go for 13 yards for Davion Hunter.
First down from the 41-yard line.
And he now has 92 yards unofficially on just 8 carries, and he was averaging 10 yards a carry coming into the game. Man in motion to the left is Dre Thompson. He has the big 78-yard touchdown catch. He's in motion to the right on 1st and 10 for Thomas Jefferson. Now Rollins will reset to the left. Play clock not at 5 yet. And now, well, he had all types of motion. Flag is down.
Yeah, they had people moving. It looked like Canadian football.
It did. All right, so that'll set Thomas Jefferson 5 yards back. Moving in different directions. They'll be at the 46 of Fort Morgan on 1st and 15.
1st and 15.
But the clock is moving in this third quarter. With 7:13 to go, the Mustangs trail by only 2. And if Thomas Jefferson doesn't make some mistakes,
Yep.
then they could have a bigger lead, which they had momentarily. 1st down and 15 for the 46 of Fort Morgan. In the backfield is Davion Hunter to the left of the quarterback. In motion is Taylor, and another procedure penalty, another false start. You know, you'd think this is the first quarter.
The first game.
Or even better. First quarter of the first game.
That's pretty sloppy.
Another false start on the Spartans. Losing that ball back another 5 yards.
For a game that features 2 of the top 10 teams in the state.
Yeah, the Spartans ranked 7th, the Mustangs ranked 9th. On 1st down and 20 to go for Thomas Jefferson at their own 49. The outside receiver to the left is Thompson. Trips to the left, 1 to the right. Kozer for the pistol is back to throw. Pressure comes up the middle. The pass up the middle is nearly intercepted. Oh, at the 33, in and out of the hands of Jacob Ortega, who never drops anything.
By Jacob Ortega.
Maybe his eyes got the little interference there. Was that
Well,
Thurman that went across
Yes,
there?
and that's the thing. He went right across the field, and it shielded Ortega from the football for just a second. Second down and 20 to go from their own 49.
They've got a big wide receiver. I thought I had seen Blaine. Was it Blaine Thompson?
I think it's Blaine Wilson.
Blaine Wilson.
From the 49, again, 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Kozer takes about a 5-step drop, sets, throws over the middle, incomplete off the hands of Ethan Rollins at the Fort Morgan 39, defended by Ortega. Man, if that pass is on the money, he had a little bit of running room on that slant.
Just a little high. Fort Morgan's bringing a little bit more pressure. Isaac Linker was coming in from the offensive right side.
Well, you got to be careful now, because if they're just throwing downfield, they might change it up and try to throw a screen.
Right.
And when you haven't seen the screen all game on both sides, that could produce a fairly big play, unless it's a wide receiver screen, which they might be lining up for that right now. 3rd and 20 at their own 49. Kozer, play action, setting up for a screen. It's dumped over the middle to Hunter, and he fumbles the ball, stripped from behind, and the Mustangs have it at their own 45-yard line. Caden Edson. And there is a flag down at the 46, right in front of the Thomas Jefferson bench. Let's see what that's all about.
Hopefully it's not defensive holding. No.
No penalty. That is turnover number 3 against Thomas Jefferson. So that pass went for about 2 yards there before the fumble took place. And fumbled by the normally reliable Davion Hunter.
He got that poked out from behind.
He did beautifully. 1st and 10 for Fort Morgan at the 45, looking to grab the lead with 6:23 to go in the 3rd. Trailing 16-14 to Thomas Jefferson in Fort Morgan. Linker looking for that wide receiver screen, pumps, and he's sacked back at the 39. Protection broke down, and he was sacked by Samuel Cole, a 6'2", 205-pound junior. It's a loss of 6, 2nd down and 16. Linker sacked, I believe, for the first time in the game.
Yeah, it's his first time going down.
Well, once you take that quick drop, Brian, and you pump, you got to get rid of the ball.
Yep.
Because there's not much of a pocket.
I thought maybe he was going to go out here to Ortega in the flat, and that number, Keyshawn Taylor, was just coming downfield.
That's why I think he anticipated that could have been a pick 6.
Yeah. So Linker just held it.
They're doing a great job of guarding Ortega, even though he's got that one catch for a touchdown. Hand off to Hamer, back through the middle, a decent gain near the original line of scrimmage. He's got 5 yards in a play. Shunnison in on the hit. And also Trayshawn Smith at 5'10", 297. Wow, it's a big kid.
Yep.
18 carries now for 70 yards unofficially for J.P. Hamer. He's gone over 100 each of the first 2 games. But it's 3rd and 11 for Fort Morgan at their own 44. Linker throws it out in the left flat, caught by Ortega. Stutter steps, flag is down, back to the inside, and he's down. He loses a yard. Well, that's going to be declined.
Yeah.
It's against Fort Morgan. You know, that's crazy. Another quick holding penalty.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that one. That one at least was a pass. So, no gain officially. As the ball was backtracked to the 49. And Dylan Woods, I believe, is the long snapper. He's done a very nice job here. The last 2 snaps have been very good.
Okay, you have a new returner, James Abbey.
And he's a junior. And now it's a high snap. Here comes the pressure. Ortega gets it off. Another gorgeous punt. Abbey calls the fair catch. He has it at about the 16 or 17-yard line.
Yeah, that was a beautiful punt.
Has Frankie had one bad punt? Has Frankie had an average punt? I mean, everything seems
Everything's been, even when they were, like the short punts
Yeah.
last week, he was getting them out of bounds, and it was still pinning them down at the 10 or 15-yard line with no return.
He's got to lead the state in net average because nobody's returning any of his punts. 1st and 10 at the 18.
10 from the 18.
Past the midway point of the third quarter, Thomas Jefferson leads Fort Morgan 16-14. Receivers out to each side. 2 running backs. Ethan Rollins, now Kozer under center, and Davion Hunter. And this is the give on the right side. And cutting it back to the inside and breaking tackles is Hunter across the 25. He's carrying defenders and still carrying them across the 30-yard line. Whistle is not blown. And he's down at the 31. It's a gain of 13. And about 9 of those yards were on his own.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Around the 30-yard line.
I think there was 22 people in that push.
Yeah.
He had 11 from one or 10 from one side, and Mustangs on the other side.
Hunter had 6 carries for 39 yards at halftime. He's got 3 for 66 in the third quarter alone. 1st and 10 at the 31. Kozer again is under center. This will be a give on the left side to Rollins. He spins out of a tackle along the left side to the 36-yard line. So he's tackled there. Gain of about 5, but again, they know how to make their moves. They'll give him actually 6.
Yeah, spinning out of the tackles and getting more yardage.
Down and 4 yards to go. Thomas Jefferson taking their time now in the huddle. Even though time is not a factor here in this third quarter, only a 2-point game. Kozer again on 2nd and 4 from the 37. There's the counter to the right side and to the 40. And let's see if that might have been Abbey. Nope, who got up there? That's Shunnison, I believe, on the carry.
Yep.
Gain of 3. Shunnison's first carry of the game. 3rd down and 1 to go for Thomas Jefferson. Shunnison and Rollins. Handoff. Rollins off left tackle. He's going to be held short, maybe. Drives back to the original line of scrimmage. Nice job. The Mustangs had him in the backfield and then finally brought him down. I think Villalobos is getting up. Yep, he is. He made one of the hits in there. 4th down and 1. Now, you cannot necessarily assume a quick kick here.
No.
Because the ball's at the 40. They could actually go for it here, and it wouldn't be a bad call. 4th and 1 from their own 40. And this will be a keeper back to the middle, and that's a 1st down. That is Hunter. Off right tackle to the 42. And that was a quick snap as well to get Fort Morgan off balance.
Yeah, they didn't need much anyway, and it was a direct snap to him anyway, I believe, wasn't it?
It was a direct snap to Davion Hunter. 1st and 10 at their own 42. The Mustangs trail by 2. Direct snap this time, and there's a flag down before the play commences. That was to Hunter. But that's going to be against Thomas Jefferson. They've had a number of procedure penalties in this quarter alone.
The last drive, they had, 3 right in a row.
We got less than 2 minutes to go in the third, so they're holding on to the football. 1st and 15 at the 37. The Mustangs have a 7-yard touchdown catch in this quarter from Jacob Ortega to draw them to within 2. Receiver split out each side. Kozer now out of the pistol. Hands off to Hunter. Stutter steps back to the left side. Runs into a Mustang. Now before he crosses the 40. And advances to the 42 for a gain of 5. 2nd down and close to 10. Hunter's had a big second half already. 73 yards on 5 carries. He's got 112 in the game. Had that big 40-yarder that would have been 56, but it was holding downfield. on second down and a long 10 for the 42. Kozer on the draw play. Hunter stutter steps, breaks it up a tackle, still on his feet, across the 50 into Mustang territory to the 46. It's a first down and a gain of 12 for Davion Hunter before the play was made along the far side.
Yeah, they're riding him this second half.
And Alex Ortega's limping slightly off the field. Checking in now is Gabe Vickers, a sophomore.
But I saw like somebody tried to reach out to the ankle tackle, and that's not going to happen with Hunter.
At the 46-yard line of Fort Morgan, the Mustangs have not touched the football after they made it a 2-point game. Well, actually, they did once. My bad. There's the give. Shunnison left side. He wiggles his way across the 45, and he drives to the 39. The Mustangs are not holding these opposing running backs up. That's a gain of 7 for Shunnison. Only a second carry of the game. Well, they'll give him 6 instead of 7, but nonetheless, it's a second down and 4. And that's the end of the third quarter with a score. Thomas Jefferson 16, Fort Morgan 14 on B106 and B106.com. Along with Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde, I'm John Beltran as we head to the fourth quarter. Thomas Jefferson leads Fort Morgan 16-14, second down, and about 4 to go for Thomas Jefferson at the Fort Morgan 40. Trips to the right. One receiver to the left. Kozer from the gun. Back to throw. Looking to his right. Now heaves it up the left side. That is incomplete at the 9. Intended for Thurman. Well defended over there. Kevin Rohde just sent me a note a while back that discipline an issue in this game for the Mustangs. I mean, not playing fundamentally sound. Well, they got to be disciplined here on this play. Third down and 5, or 4, I should say, for the 40. This got to be 4 down territory for Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, where they're at and the way they've been running the ball, they were just taking a shot at the.
Right, I think they're going to. You'd think they'd run Hunter here, but there we go. Illegal substitution or participation as running off the field is Thompson. I got to tell you, I'm not impressed by some of Thomas Jefferson's sloppiness, too.
No.
All these penalties. Because there is some talent out there, especially with Hunter.
Yeah, and, they were talking about discipline on our side. Discipline on the other side is not very good either.
Well, if Thomas Jefferson was disciplined, if either team was, maybe Fort Morgan's in the lead.
Right.
3rd and 9. From the 45-yard line of Fort Morgan. Kozer under center, man in motion to the left, and that should be wow. Keyshawn Taylor started upfield way before the snap.
Yep.
In this half alone, they have either delay of game or procedure penalties totaling 6 now. 6 for 30 yards.
Yep.
Now we're at 3rd and 14. Brian, it's almost like they want to give this game away.
Yeah, and Morgan won't take it.
Yeah, they haven't been able to. They did draw closer, but this is the opportunity on their home field to take advantage. And as you mentioned, take this game.
3rd and 14. They need to stop them here. It's another big down for the defense.
Just past the 50-yard line. Kozer pumps. Pressure coming. He's sacked back at the 41. It's a loss of 9. And doing it again was Devin Gerken, his 3rd sack of the game.
Yeah, he just coming through there.
He must be bull rushing.
Yeah, he must be. That's crazy.
It's 4th down and 22. They've got to get to the 36-yard line. Ortega's back deep to receive. And the Mustangs break one on special teams.
And this is really the first time that we've even called Devin Gerken's name this year.
Right, but he's having a monster game. All right, they're setting up like in a quick kick formation. You know, if I'm Ortega, I might move up a bit. I think he's too deep. Let's see, there's the quick kick, and yeah, it's going to be short. Ortega's going to come up and field it and fair catch it at the 28. He might have had some running room out there, but Jacob felt safe just fair catching it and having Fort Morgan start 72 yards away from the land of no hash marks with 10:53 to go in the game. Of course, there's no hash marks really on this entire field. The Mustangs have never led in the game.
Well, this would be a good drive to take care of that.
The official spot is their own 28. First and 10. Linker will hand it off to Hamer. Stutter steps back to the middle. Breaks out of a tackle at the 30. On his feet at the 35. Backing in across the 40 to the 42. What a run by J.P. Hamer. It's a gain of 14. And a Fort Morgan Mustang first down on the tackle there for Thomas Jefferson were Blaine Wilson and Craig Thurman.
Ball will be spotted on the 42.
Hamer has not carried the ball much here in the second half. Handoff, Hamer again. He's got a lane to the right side. Hit at the 45. Got to the 46. It's a gain of 4. That was his 20th carry of the game.
46-yard line.
Yeah,
second
doing a
down
nice
and
job.
6.
He's wanting to show Thomas Jefferson that there's more than one good running back out there on the field.
Well, you see what the Mustangs are doing. They're upping the tempo a bit. On second down and 6 from the 46. Thomas Jefferson 16, Fort Morgan 14 early in the fourth quarter. From the pistol, the lone setback is Jacob Ortega, and he has the football running right up the gut, and he dives to the 48, maybe the 49. Picked up close to 3 yards.
Out to about the 49-yard line.
Ortega with his third carry of the game. Third down and a short 3.
I think they're probably almost in 4-down territory. There's only 9:40 and counting left here in this game, and
they got a block here. We've seen plays where they miss a block and they get thrown behind the line of scrimmage. Third down and 3 from their own 49. Man in motion to the right is Moya. Here's Linker with a keeper running right, and he's hit at the line of scrimmage. There wasn't anything fancy about that. He ran right into a Thomas Jefferson Spartan. That was Ahmed Khattab, a senior, at 5'9", 215, 4th down and 3.
yeah, he's only had almost one positive run tonight. Linker has
7 carries for 12 yards. And Linker looks like he's banged up a bit.
he got an equipment problem with one of the linemen for Fort Morgan.
They'll stop the clock. With 8:58 to go in the game, Thomas Jefferson 16, Fort Morgan 14. Dylan Woods will check in. Critical play in the game. Fort Morgan appears to be going for it as the clock will now run. On 4th down and 3 from their own 49-yard line. 2 receivers split to the left. Nobody to the right. Linker back to throw, and that pass is going to be incomplete towards the sideline. Cardona was out there at the 37. I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, I don't know if it went through his hands or just came up a little short. I know Linker was running out to his right. He was being pressured, but
boy, that looked like an ideal play, a good play call, but the Mustangs couldn't execute it. And he was open.
yeah, he was. Just couldn't get it to him, quite get it to him. From up here, I couldn't tell if it went through his hands or if it was just low.
Thomas Jefferson takes over at the 49. Got to stop them here, because if they score and get an extra point or a 2-pointer, it's back to a 2-score game.
Yep.
First and 10 for Thomas Jefferson at the Fort Morgan 49. Under center, the backs are split. Kozer sends a man in motion, Taylor to the left, the pitch to Hunter to the right, follows Rollins, and he's got a lane to the outside of the 40, along the sideline, and knocked out of bounds across the 35 to the 33. It's a gain of 16 for Davion Hunter, who in this half alone has 101 yards unofficially.
He had a convoy out there in front of him. He just took advantage of it.
Gets the ball on the 32-yard line where the Spartans will have it there. First down and 10.
At the 32. Yeah, this could be a game ender.
Yep.
If they get the touchdown and conversion, whether it's a single or a two-pointer, this could be a game ender. Fort Morgan's got to play some defense. They have shut out Thomas Jefferson in the second half. From the 32 with a back split, Kozer under center. Hands it off on the counter, right side. That is Hunter.
I think it was.
Check it.
Coleman.
It was.
Right side.
Yep, you're right. Who was
Coleman, I believe. I think it was number 5.
Yep, it was Adam Coleman. You're right. Got to the 30, a gain of 2.
I think they gave Hunter a blow on that after that
Yeah,
last
they
one.
did.
I think he got kind of roughed up over there on that tackle.
Of course, we know Coleman as the butler in trading places with Eddie Murphy. Second down and 8 from the 30. Again, the back split. Kozer this time is going to hand it off as he gets hit, and Hunter is going to be thrown in the backfield for a loss of 3. Eddie DePriest in on that big hit, along with Alex Ortega and Nick Norris around the football as well. But the loss of 3 makes it a 3rd and a long 10. So Hunter now under 100 yards in his second half after he was at 101, now at 98. But for the game, he's at 137. At 136, 131 his prior 2 games, so he's on his average.
On his average.
3rd down, we'll call it a long 10 at the 33-yard line. 1 receiver to the left, 1 to the right. Trenton Kozer under center. Rolls out to his left, wide open underneath. Caught by Rollins along the sideline for a first down at the 10. He's at the 5. He spins, and he is down at the 1. It's a gain of 32, and there's a flag down. Now, that could go against Thomas Jefferson, but it's still a first down.
Right.
It's going to be a first down. It's either a hold or a block in the back. Now let's see how many yards they'll give him.
Might be cramping up. I'm not sure what.
But nobody covered the receiver out of the backfield. All right, the penalty, let's see. Gain of 24. It was at the 9 where the hold occurred. So Ethan Rollins has 2 catches for 46 yards. But now it's 1st and 10 at the 19. Time not an issue yet unless Thomas Jefferson scores. 6:55 to go in the game. Big play of the game, a 78-yard catch and run by Dre Thompson. The only score this second half came from Fort Morgan's Jacob Ortega's 7-yard catch on Isaac Linker's 5th touchdown pass of the year and Ortega's 5th touchdown of the season. Looks like one of these 2 teams called a timeout, but we'll keep it right here.
Yeah, they still got Rollins down on the goal line.
Okay, didn't even see that.
I thought he was cramping up, but I can't really tell what they're doing.
Crystal clear ice, good for any drink at any time of the year. AC Ice, you can pick it up at any local grocery or convenience store in Northeast Colorado today. And Colorado Plains Medical Center has experienced physicians and a highly trained surgical team trained in the latest surgical procedures. Explore what procedures are possible in your hometown. Colorado Plains Medical Center. This is Morgan County's B106 KPRB, Brush Fort Morgan, along with Kevin Rohde on the field. I'm John Beltran with Brian Nickel. Thomas Jefferson with a 16-14 lead.
There he got up.
They're 2 spots higher than Fort Morgan in the rankings, and they have a 2-point advantage. And Thomas Jefferson in the RPI also.
Number 1 in the RPI this week. Fort Morgan was 4th in the RPI. Here he was at number 3 and Pueblo East at number 2.
And I think Pueblo East is probably...
But we know how that RPI works from week to week. So
Right. I mean, they're putting more emphasis now on the opponent's record.
Right.
more of a weighted average, which doesn't penalize you for a substandard schedule. At the 19. 1st and 10. Ozer, the pitch right to Hunter, following a block. Back to the sideline to the 10. He's got the end zone. Touchdown. Nobody in front of him after he followed his lead blocker. 2nd touchdown of the game for Davion Hunter. It comes from 19 yards away. And Thomas Jefferson has extended the lead. It's 22-14.
He just gets that corner out there. They block it off, and they can't catch him. He's just too fast once he gets out around that corner. They'll go for 2 again. Yep.
There's a flag down.
I think one of the TJ coaches was down about the 20-yard line out on the field, and that's where they threw the flag.
All right. Awaiting the direct snap to Taylor. Taylor stutter steps back towards the middle. I think he's held short.
Yep.
And Taylor is held short. All right, the Mustangs still have a shot here. We have 6:39 to go in the game. With the score, Thomas Jefferson 22, Fort Morgan 14 on B106 and B106.com. 19-yard touchdown run for Davion Hunter. 2-point conversion failed, and that's a big, big miss. Is that could have put the game away. 22-14 is the score. Now we'll see if Fort Morgan has an answer with just over 6.5 minutes to go from Fort Morgan.
Yeah, they've got to go down and score. It's going to be 4-down territory wherever they're at.
Well, unless they can pull off something special on special teams. Short kick by Kozer, fielded by, I believe that's Ortega at the 31. Stutter stepping to his right, down close to the 40.
Jacob Ortega fields the kick.
Here we go. The Mustangs got to score on this drive.
39-yard line. Mustangs will take over there.
They'll have it at the 40. Time not a factor, so they can take their time.
Yeah, I've never seen a team like Thomas Jefferson with their kickoffs where they're always a short kick. I'm not
Well,
sure
their whole kicking game is non-existent.
Yeah.
They don't attempt extra points. First and 10 at the 40. Linker from the pistol. With a blitz coming, is going to hand it off to Hamer left side, and he bowls his way to the 42. Tried to follow his left tackle. He was tackled by Adam Coleman. 2nd and 8 to go. J.P. Hamer has 90 yards, but on 21 carries. He's had to work tonight. From the 42-yard line. Everything is a 4-down situation now for Fort Morgan. Linker with a quick drop, looks to his right, heaves it up the right side. Out there is Fajardo. He didn't see the ball.
No, had no idea.
It falls incomplete at the 31. That's not good, Brian.
No.
Because this late in the game, quarterback and receiver have to basically talk to each other in a way, and not a matter of blame at this point, but it's a matter of miscommunication.
Right.
3rd and 8. Now the receivers to the right are Moya and Ortega. They're coming with a blitz. Linker hands it. No, he's going to keep the football. Then he's going to pitch it back to a lineman, and that's going to be a loss back to the 36. Yeah, it's an illegal touch there. He pitched it back to Celestino.
Well, it's a pitch back. You can't have the lineman cannot.
I don't know. I mean, why was the flag thrown? Is it? No. Okay, he can. I didn't think it was a penalty, but then when they threw the flag, I said, I guess that's illegal.
I think this guy must have thought it was a forward pitch.
Loss of 6. Well, now they're going to have to punt. I mean, you can't have this as 4-down territory and a 4th and 14. And keep in mind that Fort Morgan has come up with 3 turnovers in a game.
Yeah, they've had their opportunities.
Ortega standing at his own 21. Got to get a good snap here. That's the first concern. It's a high snap, but he's got plenty of time. Gets it off. A fluttering punt down the middle of the field to the 35-yard line. Thomas Jefferson has got to get away. Down at the 33. Once again, no return. 31-yard punt.
Down at about the 33-yard line. Spartans will take another first down.
Well, the game is now in the hands of the defense for now. Thomas Jefferson 22, Fort Morgan 14. 5:08 to go in the game.
Yep, they got to get a 3 and out or a turnover here. I can't see TJ doing anything else but handing off to Hunter.
Yeah, you would think so. Trenton Kozer under center. On first down, the pitch right to Hunter. Following 2 blockers to the outside to the 35. Breaks it of a tackle. Dragged out of bounds. Good pursuit over there by Linker and Donovan Moya. Gain of 3, 2nd down and 7.
Got him out of bounds anyway, stopped the clock.
He's 2nd and 7 from about the 36-yard line.
Another big game for Hunter. Controlled at halftime, but not in this second half. He has 159 yards, a season high, on 16 carries. There's the handoff to Hunter, off right tackle. First down across the 40 to the 43. It's a gain of 7.
First down.
Adding to his total.
Yeah, it seems like they can run about anywhere. They run it wide, they run it up the middle.
Well, momentarily they're going to force Fort Morgan to use timeouts. But there is no reason now for Thomas Jefferson to put the ball up in the air. At their own 44, leading by 8. On first down. Under center once again is Kozer.
Waiting for the back judge to get the countdown.
Not even at 5 yet. Now at 5, at 4, at 3. Kozer hands off, stutter stepping. That is Ethan Rollins. He's got a seam across the 45 to the 48.
Avery Shunnison with the carry.
I can say Shunnison, I thought that was Rollins.
34, yeah, I'm sure it was Rollins.
Bring about 2nd and 6.
Gain of 4. If they don't stop them, Fort Morgan's timeouts are going to be useless. 3:50 and the clock is running. A turnover is what they need. Fort Morgan has come up with 3. 2nd down and 6 for the 48. This will be the pitch left to Hunter. Swings it back to the middle. He drives it across the 50 to the 49, short of a first down. Did pick up 3 yards. 3rd down, but only 2 to go. A long 2 at that. Just shy of just across the 50-yard line at the 49. Got to get to about the 46 and a half.
Guess they're going to wait for a caller timeout here if they don't make it here on 3rd down.
On 3rd down, and that clock is just running. Thomas Jefferson wants it to run as much as possible. 2, 1. He's not going to get it off. Oh, he just got it off. Handoff, left side, back to the middle. Rollins first down. Again, stutter stepping and then finding the seam in the middle. And he picked up 4 yards in a play.
Ethan Rollins takes the carry at the middle. Got enough for a first down.
To the 45. This might end it right there.
45-yard line.
Yep, down to 2:37 and counting.
Yeah, they're going to need a turnover. It's the only hope right now. They'll start calling timeouts at this point. They might be tired defensively.
It could be. Getting wore down.
First and 10 for Thomas Jefferson at the Mustang 45. Again, waiting for the play clock to run down is Trenton Kozer. Waiting the snap, hands it off on the counter, runs into a blocker. Hunter now with a seam, spinning across the 40, still on his feet. That's a first down to the 35, a gain of 10, and Davion Hunter cannot be stopped.
He's kind of like a pinball machine out there. He just hits and turns and just keeps bouncing off of guys.
19 carries in the game. He's approaching 200. Not there yet.
Now Fort Morgan calls their timeout.
180 yards unofficially for Davion Hunter. Mustangs should have 2 remaining.
Yep.
But I don't know if it's going to make a difference. See what over a century of customer service can do for you at High Plains Bank in Wiggins, offering you a variety of banking needs, including agriculture and personal loans. High Plains Bank in Wiggins. Good old-fashioned football.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not working in Fort Morgan's favor. As they are down 22-14. And a minute 53 to go. Even if they run 3 plays, they'll face a 4th down with about a minute to go.
Right.
Not looking good right now.
TJ got this with 5:08 left on the clock. So we'll see what kind of a run that Hunter will have this time. I'm sure they'll keep handing off to him.
On 1st and 10 for the Fort Morgan 35. And there's the give to Hunter along the right side. And he's got daylight, but he's out of bounds. That helps Fort Morgan. However, he still picked up sizable yardage.
Yeah, 9 or 10. Just 9. Looks like he's about the 26-yard line.
Finally pushed out.
Yep, gain of 9. It's 189 yards.
26-yard line.
He gets outside quick. The defense isn't.
Yeah, he's too fast.
Yep.
He's just too fast.
He has Rollins out there in front of him, like a fullback out there in front blocking for him, and they're pinning the defensive end in.
2nd and 1 from the 26. You got to come up with a turnover. Handoff on the counter back to the middle. Rollins, first down. He needed 1. He got 2 to the 24.
Even Rollins was carried the middle.
Now, Fort Morgan, I still believe, has 2 timeouts left.
Yeah, they just called one.
But what's the time up there, Brian?
Minute 45. Now they've got.
If they took 3 knees, they'd go for it on 4th down with about 10 seconds to go. So this game is essentially over unless Thomas Jefferson turns it over. That's the only shot the Mustangs have right now. And again, one question that was on my mind before this game was the team, I think, that had the more effective passing game would win, but they've also had the more effective running game because of what Hunter's done in the second half. J.P. Hamer was better than Hunter in the first half, but in the second half, he hasn't gotten the football much. And outside of one run of 14 yards, slim pickings. JP will finish with 90 yards on 21 carries. Hunter's got 189 on 20. It's a big difference. 1st and 10 at the 24. Kozer hands it off to Hunter, swinging it to the outside, back to the 20, breaks it up a tackle, and he's got close to 8 yards before DePriest and a couple of others over there to make the play. Now he's at 197.
Last time out. Getting the 200-yard mark.
I can't sing the Dandy Don song, but looks like you turn out the lights on this one.
Yep.
So they're going to end the game eating up nearly half of the 4th quarter clock on this drive alone.
Yeah, they've done a good job of that in the second half, that's for sure.
This is kind of what happened last week when Fort Morgan got to Lutheran's defense. They weren't running the ball well. Then Hamer broke off the 14-yarder, the 82-yarder, the 5-yarder. This week, Fort Morgan is on the other end of it.
Right.
Hunter has 2 touchdowns tonight. And Josh Langford said it during the week. This might be the best opposing running back that they've seen in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, he is good.
2nd down and 2 for the Fort Morgan 16.
And he's got a good group to go with him. I mean, he's not doing it on his own. He's getting the blocking out there, too.
Kozer on the counter, left side, leaping over a defender is Rollins. 1st down at the 12. It's a gain of 4, and that'll close the book on this one. All they got to do is take a couple of knees, and this is over. And this drive started at the 33.
Yep.
So they have traveled 55 yards. And I'm surprised they're not in victory formation. With 1:06 to go, they should be in victory formation, but they're not at the 12.
They're going to give
Hunter back to the middle. They want him to get to 200, and he's at the 9. See if they give him the 9. Yep, it's about the 9. That's a gain of 3. That will put him unofficially at 200 yards. But now you go to victory formation and end this thing.
Yep, down to 35 seconds and counting, so.
161 yards in the second half. And again, these are all unofficial numbers. But that's what I've got. And there is the knee taken by Trenton Kozer. And the Thomas Jefferson Spartans have come into Fort Morgan and defeated the Mustangs 22-14. How about a 2-minute break? We're back in 2 minutes on B106 and B106.com. Mustang Post-Game Show is brought to you by Morgan Community College. Morgan Community College is there to help you make your dreams become a reality for both traditional and non-traditional students. Check them out at morgancc.edu. That is Morgan Community College. Well, tonight from Legion Field in Fort Morgan, there is Kevin Rohde on Facebook Live along with Brian Nichols. Well, I'm John Beltran. The Thomas Jefferson Spartans have handed Fort Morgan their first loss of the season, 22-14. Fort Morgan never led in this game. Davion Hunter had a 25-yard touchdown run, and then the 2-point conversion made it 8-0. Morgan would come back with a 1-yard touchdown run from Isaac Linker, and that was 8-7. And then one of the big plays in this game, Brian, was that 78-yarder to Dre Thompson in the second quarter. That seemed to be a backbreaker because Thomas Jefferson went up by 9 points at that point.
Yeah, that was a 78-yard pass. I mean, they had him 3rd and 8 at that point, and Thompson goes 78 yards. He did most of that on his own.
Yeah, without a doubt. And then Fort Morgan would take advantage of a turnover on special teams. 3 turnovers committed, 2 on special teams by Thomas Jefferson today. And Jacob Ortega, 7-yard touchdown catch, 16-14 in the third quarter. But then Thomas Jefferson would not only score again on Davion Hunter's 19-yard run, but they ran out the final 5+ minutes of the game, and they improved to 3-0 with a 22-14 victory. All right, before we get the breakdown here for the gentlemen, let's run through the numbers. For the visiting Thomas Jefferson Spartans, a big game for Davion Hunter. He had 267 yards on the ground over the first 2 games. Tonight, unofficially, 22 carries for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Trenton Kozer had 2 carries for 9. Adam Coleman 1 for 2. Ethan Rollins had 8 carries for 26 yards. Avery Shunnison 2 for 12. 244 yards on the ground, but another difference maker was in the air as Trenton Kozer in this game, even though his completion percentage was not great, he was 6 out of 12, but that's what he's been doing all season for 160 yards and that touchdown pass to Dre Thompson. So 404 yards of total offense tonight unofficially for Thomas Jefferson. The Mustangs obviously not as fortunate tonight. J.P. Hamer, 21 carries for 90 yards. Isaac Linker had 8 for 12. And then Jacob Ortega, 3 for 20. So you had 122 yards on the ground tonight, but only 45 through the air, as Linker tonight was 6 out of 12, just like the opposing quarterback was, for 45 yards and 1 interception. That was a huge interception in the end zone on Fort Morgan's first possession. So the Mustangs tonight only unofficially with 167 yards of total offense. So when the opposing team has well over 200 yards more than you do, you know that you're not going to win the game. And Fort Morgan, even though they committed fewer penalties and had fewer turnovers, had a lot fewer yards. And that's part of the reason they lost this game tonight. And Kevin, let me bring you in, because something you mentioned certainly was discipline. And that's something that the Mustangs didn't have a lot of during certain portions of the game, particularly in the second half.
Right. And actually, when I sent you that text, I was talking about TJ's discipline when they touched the punt that they didn't have to and gave us the turnover and then all the penalties. But I think the overall analysis here is Fort Morgan is going to have to figure out how to get something going on offense against a good defense like TJ's, and then figure out how to wrap up and tackle, strong physical backs, because TJ had a couple of those, and boy, we had a hard time wrapping up and keeping them, in check.
Well, again, you could differentiate between missed tackles and broken tackles. Later on in the game, there might have been some broken tackles because Hunter was way too shifty, but that was preceded quite a bit by missed tackles, especially on that long touchdown pass that we talked about.
Right, and their passing was mostly short passes that were, just the athleticism of the TJ receivers were able to turn it upfield, and as you say, missed tackles, and they played well, and I guess a moral victory is that as good as their offense was, we held them to 3 touchdowns. The downside is that we lost to a team that made as many mistakes as they did. So
right. I mean, and again, so actually Fort Morgan in some areas did have better discipline, with the exception of tackling. I didn't see too many missed tackles tonight from Thomas Jefferson as opposed to Fort Morgan.
No, and Fort Morgan is really good at gang tackling, and I didn't see too many times when we had 8 guys on number 2 and tackling him. It was like kind of chasing him out of bounds is what we did more than gang tackling.
Right. Davion Hunter, he had a great last drive of the game when he essentially ran out the clock by himself with that offensive line.
Yep.
Brian, I think the thing we should do here is run through the nickel package once again, because if the Mustangs maybe pass 3 or 4 of those, they win the game. But outside of the punting game that Frankie Ortega demonstrated tonight, he was solid once again.
Right.
The other 4, I'm not sure how those went.
Well, number 1 I had was control the offense, which they didn't do. They just kind of ran the clock real well. Number 2 is pressure the quarterback. They did get to him, 4 sacks, I believe, but 3 of them were at the end of the first half, and then they had 1 here in the second half. So it really didn't come into play too much with the sack of the quarterback. The third one was keep the pressure off of Linker. They did that pretty well. He was sacked there that one time here in the second half. So they did do a pretty good job of keeping the pressure off of Isaac Linker. Punt game, that went to Frankie Ortega. Great job tonight by Frankie Ortega. And the fouls tonight, they had no personal fouls. Fort Morgan, I had only 4 penalties all night long. Only had 1 in that second half. TJ, I had for 9 penalties. So they did cut down on the penalties. They just couldn't get the ball moving when they needed to.
I have a feeling that part of your nickel package moving forward could be establish the passing game. 45 yards, I mean, not much now. The good thing for Linker, he did find 5 different receivers, which is good, but only one of them caught 2 footballs, and that was Ortega, and one of those went for 0 yards. So really, you had 5 different receivers, and the longest catch was 11 yards to Fajardo on that slant, which I believe was in the second quarter. Kevin somehow moved the ball downfield. But now these opposing teams know that Jacob Ortega is the man to deal with, and they were blanketing him throughout virtually the entire game.
Right. There's a couple of things that come to my mind about the offense. In the first 2 games, we saw Ortega go in motion, and then they pitched to him, and he got outside, and we had some success with that. We faked that one time and never ran it. And then against Lutheran, we had that great, well-conceived play where everything went to one side and Hamer leaked out of the backfield and was wide open. Why don't we see that more often? I mean, I know you got to save it for the right time, but when you're in a close game like this with a physical team, that's when you need to get something that maybe fires up your team and moves that momentum on your side.
All right, let's name the Mustang Player of the Game tonight. The Mustang Player of the Game, brought to you by Transwest. They believe that customers are number one. Check out their selection online or just stop by one of their dealerships at Fort Morgan or Sterling today, Transwest. Well, I mean, there weren't too many stars in this game, but Devin Gherkin came up with 3 sacks.
Right.
And I think you come up with 3 sacks, which is very difficult to do at any level. We'll give Devin Gherkin the Mustang Player of the Game tonight. And this was really the first time the defense didn't show up for 4 quarters. But then again, as we mentioned, it's not all about defensive incompetence. You faced a pretty good football team tonight in Thomas Jefferson, which is coming off back-to-back 8-win seasons. And with Hunter back there, and he's already nearly at 500 yards for the year, he's going to be a factor to deal with once Thomas Jefferson gets to the playoffs.
Right, and I think it doesn't bode well for us because we've got a couple teams down the road that also have really good runners and a good running game with Erie and Roosevelt. So, those were the 3 games where I thought we'd really have to stand tall and play good rush defense. And in our first test, we didn't really handle it very well.
Brian, and we got Conifer here next week, and we know they're somewhat familiar foes. You did a playoff game, you and Kevin, here a few years ago, 2-3 years ago against Conifer.
Right, yeah, and I think they were ranked in the RPI also, in the top RPI. I don't remember just where they were. But they're going to be coming in here. They've seen Fort Morgan's vulnerable, so they're going to be coming in here looking for a win. So Mustangs got to get it together before next Friday night. Get the first win here at Legion Field this year. Thomas Jefferson moves to 3-0. The Mustangs fall to 2-1. Once again, Fort Morgan will be hosting Conifer coming up on Friday night, a week from tonight, 7 o'clock on B106 and B106.com. Outstanding job, as always, by our sound engineer and producer, Herrick Curtis, for Kevin Rohde, who's checking out his phone, and Brian Nickel. I'm John Beltran, who's up to no good. The final score tonight here on Facebook Live for the postgame and on B106 and B106.com. Thomas Jefferson 22, Fort Morgan 14. Once again, you've been listening to Mustang Football on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com.